Reaching the top of Silver Peak helped open up my eyes and made me a lot more open to trying new and different things. It gave me a lot more confidence. If you have the ability to do this, I would definitely recommend it. It would change your life because it has changed mine. We first started bike riding. We started a YouTube channel about 2 years ago. Our first videos were about hitting the trail and riding our bikes on them. After riding seemingly was like all the trails around here, we wanted to try something else, and my husband had been wanting to climb Silver Peak for years, so that's how we decided to go and climb Silver Peak. What I didn't realize was we were going to need a boat to do it, so here's where our kayak came in. We bought an inflatable kayak. We didn't have the boat very long before we went and took on this adventure. My first time out in it was at Port Dover, and we just gave it a little bit of a test run over there. When you say like 5 hours, it sounds like it's so long, but actually it doesn't seem as long as it sounds. Once you get out of town and you actually see like the rocks and the scenery and everything, there's nothing like it. So we took the highway all the way up to Killarney Road. If you've never been down Killarney Road, it's about 60 kilometers long and it's like a roller coaster through nature. This was my first trip to Killarney, and wow, it did not disappoint. The first thing that you do is you go to the main office and get a permit. Got back into the car, drove to the Bell Lake access point. We didn't have the boat very long before we went and took on this adventure. My husband inflated it at Port Dover, so I had yet to inflate it myself. Whoops. Hey, I got it inflated, so I would say it was a success. I like to think that I've gotten better since then. I felt nervous about getting a kayak and getting in it. I was pretty excited and nervous. I didn't know what to expect. As we first got going, it was a little bit of nerves. My husband pushed us off, started paddling, and then he was getting me to start to paddle, and I was really nervous. As I started doing it, I started to enjoy it. And I even started trying to, considering being on camera, even tried to be a little bit of a host.
We are in Killarney today.
As we started going, the laughter and joking around had started.
We're really in this. Oh, now we're starting to. There we go. Woo, woo. Whoop. Ah.
Bell Lake I thought was beautiful, and it didn't take that long to get through.
Really beautiful. Okay, it's really beautiful. Like, it actually took me a minute to actually look up, just start enjoying the beauty, just being a little bit nervous and then just focusing on the paddling, and then now it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually really cool.
At the side there was a part of rock, and my husband dropped me off there. At this point, as you're waiting, you start to wonder, what am I doing here? Hi, I'm Sugar Pie. Welcome to the most epic day-long adventure I've ever done. Today I'm going to climb a mountain. And yes, he did eventually come back and pick me up. Eventually, as we come around the bend, that's when you get to see a glance of the mountains, and oh my gosh, it does take your breath away when you first see them. Bell Lake is about an hour's long journey. I considered it a short but sweet journey. At last you reach the part where you kind of reach the trail, and you hang up the boat on one of the racks. I found really neat seeing all the boats. Then we started the trail part, which was interesting. It was fun because this was kind of like the first time hitting a hiking trail. Shortly after you get on the trail, there's a sign reminding you that you are joining a part of a much larger loop. When me and my husband first got together, he talked about doing a big long trail somewhere up north. Apparently, this was part of that trail.
We're now on a part of that trail I was telling you about, that's like The sign says 7 to 10 days around till it gets back to this point.
He was actually talking about the Lacoste silhouette and if I would ever be interested in doing it with him.
You do this for a week?
And it was kind of a little bit of a test to see how I'd do with this and to see if I was interested in maybe doing more and maybe even working towards that hike. The trail is about 5 kilometers long from the dock to the top of Silver Peak, so we knew we had a long day ahead of us.
That looks like a dragon.
So we got going.
How are you feeling?
I was feeling the bag a little bit, so I was just relaxing my neck.
I really enjoyed the hike through the forest. It was nice to get out and like the quiet and the solitude and just being a part of nature that you don't get to be in when you're in the city.
We wandered into the Mushroom Kingdom. Those ones are different.
The first half was actually a treat. It wasn't that difficult. It was just very nice and easy and fun.
Yay! It was stable.
For the most part, it was pretty well flat, except for the occasional mud and some roots. You could tell it was a well-used trail. Eventually you end up finding the split between the Lacoste silhouette and Silver Peak, and then that's when the climbing began. It went from being a rather smooth and flat trail to being rather rocky, broody, so quite a bit different and much more challenging, and an awful lot of uphill. You felt it in your feet. After a while, you get to find your first lookout point.
Oh wow, look at it!
And so you get to see how high up you are and that you're actually taller than some of the trees. That's why you do it. That's why you're making that climb, is to get that view. I think physically I did fairly well, but I was always a little bit scared of slipping on the rocks, so that slowed me down quite a bit. But overall, I found the rocks to be a lot of fun. As we were walking, we ran into a very nice couple that was nice enough to point out that they were watching a snake eating a salamander. So it was very neat to take that moment and just watch this snake.
That was pretty cool. He's just a little tiny little guy.
Didn't really have any hiking shoes, so I did it in just running shoes. Maybe that was a little bit of a challenge. I was scared of slipping, but overall I found climbing on the rocks to be a lot of fun.
Yes!
To my surprise, also on the trail was this beautiful, a big rock face that actually formed a waterfall, and it was beautiful. Sometimes it would seem like the trail was never ending. Eventually you would look up and then you would see more sky than you have noticed before. And then that's when you notice that you start reaching the top.
Oh my gosh! Holy cow!
It really did take my breath away. We were pretty high up, so that was a little bit overwhelming, but it was beautiful.
This is so worth it. I'm a little bit scared of heights, so it is actually pretty long ways up. But still, it's so gorgeous.
We felt that this would be a great break spot. We took a break and then it was just a little bit more to the top. I have been up north before. I went to a high school. They offered a camping trip to some students and I was lucky enough to be one of those students. It was a summer camp, but we went before school was out, fixing it up, and then we would get a few hours of leisure time to enjoy the camp. Going up north after being away from it for so long, it seemed entirely new, but it was also really nice. It was nice to be back. To have the opportunity to have done that and to accomplish it, it felt amazing afterwards, and taking it all in, I don't really have words for it. It helped open up my eyes and made me a lot more open to trying new and different things. The best part about it was that we did it together. If you have the ability to do this, I would definitely recommend it because it would change your life, because it has changed mine.